I'm Joel. I was born and grew up in Adelaide, living in the same family home until I was 20. This home holds a special place in my heart for all the memories and experiences associated with the place. And although I didn't really think about it at the time, I was lucky in many ways. My family was in the same home for all of my childhood, with no forced moves. The home met our needs in such a way that I never really had to think about it. It was just built that way from the get-go. Our house had 2 steps to get in, and an internal step from the kitchen to the family room where we ate meals. There was a flight of stairs with 2 turns and a long narrow corridor with a dog leg. And now that I know more, I would say it was a bit of an accessibility nightmare. And then one day, Grandma moved in. Gma lived in the family home for 4 years. Eventually, she started using a walker, then a wheelchair, and she died at home in 2017, aged 88. I tell this story because it shows accessible housing matters in ways that aren't always immediately apparent. The future is objectively unknowable and hard to predict, which is why our housing should be built to be ready for a range of scenarios. Four years ago, Australia's building ministers confirmed that the 2022 National Construction Code would include mandatory minimum accessibility standards, and they were true to their word. The code now includes the Livable Housing Design Standard, or LHDS, which outlines specific features that new dwellings must have. So what's actually in the standard? The first part is make it easier to enter and exit a home. There has to be level access to the dwelling and at least 1 step-free entry. The second part is making it easier to visit or navigate inside a home. Wider doors and corridors, more circulation space in bathrooms and toilets, and at least 1 toilet on the entry level. And finally, it's about retrofitability. The standard requires reinforcement in bathrooms to make it easier to install grab rails if they are needed in the future. The standard makes it easier to adapt or retrofit in the future, and things that are harder to adapt, like the width of the corridors, are made more accessible from the start. Who is this for? Well, around 3 million Australians currently live with a mobility limitation. The LHDS is about making sure that these people can have the same opportunities that other Australians have. Being able to celebrate Christmas at a family member's home. Being able to easily get in and out of your own home. Being able to have a shower independently. But as my own story shows, that's just one part of the picture. A lot of different people benefit from universal housing design. As Australia's population gets older, it's especially important that our housing allows people to age in place. In 2021, when building ministers committed to the LHDS, we thought the campaign was won. Unfortunately, we were wrong. Over the next few years, there were some great advances, as most states and territories committed to the standard. But some jurisdictions, New South Wales and Western Australia, did not commit. The Building Better Homes campaign is about finishing off the job, about locking in this reform, getting the laggard jurisdictions on board, and then making sure that implementation is done well, with transparent reporting and monitoring. So what's the plan? We are focusing on New South Wales, which we aim to have as the next jurisdiction to sign up to the LHDS. WA will then come next. This campaign is happening at a tricky time. Across the country, governments are pulling out all the stops to try to build more housing, faster and cheaper. But we need to remember, the point of increasing housing supply isn't just to meet a target. It's to make sure there are actually more homes out there for people. According to the ABS, about 2 in 5 households include someone with disability. So the only real solution to our housing crisis is to make sure that the houses we are building today have the right features in place so that they can be homes for these people. The potential of building better homes is to change that at a concrete level, to give people with disability the same opportunity we all have, the dignity of living comfortably in one's own home and of visiting loved ones without barriers. Thanks so much for listening.